Okay. Boleh nampak ya? So basically kita akan mulakan tutorial business process modeling notation ya, untuk sesi tutorial hari ini. So hari ini saya akan tunjukkan steps lah, steps untuk kita mula crafting, crafting and designing our BPMN. Yeah. Setelah kita tahu proses dia kan, contohnya for example, kita dah mula ada, kita buat proses requirement gathering, dan kita dapat flow, prosesnya, proses flow through, for example, mungkin kita dapat proses flow tu dengan melihat flowchart, contohnya lah. Ataupun kita dah buat basic interview dengan user. Okay. So bila kita dah dapat information a little bit on the process ataupun kita dah dapat information complete on the process, kita boleh go to the next step, iaitu start analysing and modelling our BPMN. Alright, Business Process Management Notation. So aktiviti untuk hari ini tak banyak slide lah tapi it's practical punya approach, which you can, I believe you can do it on your own later on. So for today activities for BPMN, basically we have 3 sections, which is I'm going to show you the step by step on how to start crafting and modeling your BPMN. And then I'm going to show you some quick examples that you can do from basic and more complicated, because kita ada branching kan. Basically BPMN notation ni dia tengok on flow. So bila ada flow tu ada constraint, especially on decision making ke, ada constraint ke, maka kita kena tengok dia punya branching out activity dan branching in activity dia. So and then the third section ialah kita tengok tool. You can go by doing BPMN using tools, dan juga you boleh guna paling basic ialah Microsoft Words. Contohnya lah VCO pun boleh, cuma VCO is much better than Word lah, sebab Microsoft Word dia tak interaktif sangat. Dia, kita consider its category kalau Microsoft Word tu dia toolless, but still you can do. In fact you can do scratching from hand. So hari ni saya mungkin nak tengok output based on your handwriting first, then you boleh transfer that handwriting BPMN menggunakan tools. So kita akan tengok apa contoh-contoh tools yang boleh kita guna, which is freeware lah, boleh download dan boleh guna. Alright, so kita pergi ke bahagian pertama, which is step by step. Saya harap kamu nampak ya. So basically nak start, lepas kita nak start scratching ataupun start developing BPMN setelah kita dapat requirement and requirement information gathering, masa kita buat data collection. So we have 5 basic steps. So this 5 steps is for me quite simple lah. Dia taklah complicated mana. Cuma the complexity dia ataupun the complicated dia bila kita ada, macam tadi lah saya cakap, branching in and branching out and the constraint that you put upon the activity for branching in and branching out. Mungkin ada loop juga. Dalam branch ada another branching out. So sebelum nak branching in, kena ada pula inner branching in sebelum you move out from that loop. So kamu dah belajar programming, kamu dah belajar DFD, so you know, I hope by now you understand what I mean lah by bila saya cakap ada looping. And then okay, kita tengok the steps. Step 1, the step 1, draw the organisation. Kita akan tengok what's the meaning of organisation. Step 2, draw the participants. The user lah, the role. The role, after kita capture the role kita capture during information gathering. Bila dah letak dekat analisis tu, kita boleh panggil dia sebagai participants ataupun user. User ni basically ada two type, the front end and back end. The front end usually kita panggil user tu, the front end kategori dia customer. Contohnya customer. The back end contohnya participant, back end. Kita boleh bagi contoh, saya boleh bagi contoh sales officer, branch manager. So kalau sales officer, dia responsible in sales management, contoh dia. Kalau sales manager, dia responsible in generate reporting, for example. Okay, so you have to have that role based on dia punya activity juga. The step 3, draw the start event. And step 4, draw the workflow. Kita panggil the outcome ataupun cara kerja untuk BPMN, kita panggil dia sebagai workflow. Kalau DFD, kita akan sebut dia sebagai data data flow, DFD. Sebab data flow is another type of modeling juga. So untuk BPMN kita panggil term dia sebagai workflow. So saya akan menggunakan term workflow referring to the BPMN modeling. Step 5, generate the workflow has specification. Apa maksud dia? Generate workflow has specification. Maksudnya kita generate dia sebagai, kita accept it as our documentation and we can use it to confirm or to verify dengan owner of the system. So kita tengok langkah pertama, first step. Step 1, draw the organization. So basically ini adalah contoh tools. Yang ini dipanggil visual paradigm, tapi tak pakailah visual paradigm ni. So this is exactly the what we call it, the working area, with basic pool. Ni pool lah, kita panggil pool. Basic pool, dan ada dia punya name of the pool. So an organization can be represented by a pool. So if you are designing an internal process meaning that functional area, the functional department punya proses. Okay, you tak ada communication or interaction dengan sistem lain ataupun sistem luar. It's just one system on its own. You must need one pool, at least one pool. So one pool is the minimum organization of a workflow. You may define your company or department has a pool. So that is what it means sebagai internal process. The next, bila kita identify the participation, now you can see that the pool has become bigger, but the pool is referring to the shipping. Kalau macam contohnya tadi, yang ini nama dia shipping, the name here. Mungkin tak nampak, too small. This is the name of the shipping, this is pool. But when you have already identified the participant, so this is still name of the pool, shipping. This is still the name of the pool, shipping, the internal process, but the pool has been divided into 4 lanes. So that 4 lanes, each of that lane represent one participant. So dekat sini kita tahulah kita ada 4 lane. Most probably we have 4 participant. Contoh yang ada kat sini you mungkin tak nampak. The upper lane here, ship designer. Contoh dia, ship designer. Yang ini sale worker. Ini dalam internal process shipping. The third one is shipbuilder. And the fourth one is the employer. So dia dah kenal lah the participants involved dalam this pool name, shipping. This is the organization of a workflow. So once you have this structure of a workflow, Then you can start fill in the processes, relationship and branching in, branching out notation lah. Okay, so you are start engage, you dah boleh start lah dengan modeling. Ya, ini baru structure je. So next step 3, sekejap je lah step 3, add a start event to the lane that will trigger the workflow. So you must identify where is the first participant that trigger the start process in the workflow and put the start notation there. Ya, letak start notation dekat participant yang trigger start dalam workflow tersebut. Alright. Bila dah letak, ya, contohnya dekat sini dalam shipping, ship designer is the first participant that trigger the workflow. So they put the start notation there. Then next, you can continue drawing. You can continue drawing by inserting the workflow, right? Including the branching in and the relationship. Okay, so you can put the task here. This is one task. Yeah. Dia boleh nanti pilih, biasanya dia akan pilih kat menu tepi ni lah. Yeah. Kalau kamu guna tool BPMN, dia akan ada notation yang dia akan beri. So you can just drag and drop. Yeah. You can click and click and drop, ataupun you can drag and drop. Usually like that. So for example here, you have task here. So task naming is very important sebab it reflects the activity for that. It reflects the task lah. Yeah? What are the things that they do in the task. So the naming for the task is important for you to put as verb nouns. For example here, process, order contohnya. Yeah? And then repeat to create task for all participants. Then you boleh repeat lah. Yeah? So that's why you have to have, sebelum sampai dekat sini sebenarnya, there's another tiny process. One further step. Bila dapat information gathering, you listkan semua. You listkan participant at preliminary stage before kita start dengan developing workflow ni ya, the preliminary pre-activity lah pre-process untuk starting the workflow ni, you kena listkan participant and each participant tu listkan apa task dia yang terlibat. Then it's much easier for you to transfer daripada list yang ada tu ke workflow. Yeah. Much quicker and much correct. Dia lebih accurate lah. Yeah. So contohnya dekat sini kita ada for first activity here, ship designer here, start notation. The first task that they do is actually design a sailing boat. So the verb noun naming convention for the task, design a sailing boat, and then dia pergi ada branching in. This is branching out. Yeah. Kalau plus ni apa maksud dia, branch dia apa maksud, can anybody tell me?
And gateway.
And, and gateway. So we have and gateway for branching out. So dalam branching out ni dia terletak dekat, contohnya dekat sini, sail worker satu activity dan satu lagi di ship builder satu activity. Dia start branching out here. So the branching out for sail worker ni dia kata make sail. Sail lah, bukan S-A-L-E-S S-A-I-L, make sails. And another task for branching out, ship builder. So boleh bagi saya contoh, boleh bagi saya definition of and gateway. Apa maksud and gateway dekat sini? Anybody? Dia kena buat salah satu ke, dia kena buat dua-dua ke, ataupun dia tak buat langsung?
Kena buat salah satu je.
And salah satu ke kedua-dua? Salah satu. Yeah. Alright. So design a sailing boat. And then okay, dekat sini dia after make sale, dia pergi ke branching out lah. So branching out ni pun dia ada is an end getaway. Tapi kalau untuk shipbuilder ni build boat body, dia ada satu constraint dekat sini. So ini kita tahulah ada decision making. Dia ada decision making which either yes or no. Either yes or no. Kalau yes ni dia branching out dekat engineer pula. Ya. Yang ini prepare motor dia kata. Prepare motor. Then dia akan start branching in balik lah. So dia bila start branching in, last kali dekat sini, assemble boat di participant shipbuilder. And finally we have the end note lah, notation. So this is an example of a workflow. Yeah. Basic lah kiranya ni. Yeah. So next, step 5, bila kita dah ada workflow like that, bila kita dah ada workflow like this, we have to name the workflow. Okay. So giving a naming for this workflow is very important sebab kita salah satu prosedur kerja sebagai system developer ni ialah not only preparing the workflow but also we need to prepare the documentation. So preparing the documentation is important, has a mean of reference. Has a means of reference and a record keeping. Sebab apa? Bila kita ada project like this, for example, it's a project based and people mungkin nak for example dah siap dan kita nak upgrade contohnya. Tu we can use this as reference. Ataupun pertukaran staff, developer bertukar. The old developer berhenti, the new developer coming in. So specification is also important as means of reference. But specification juga is a documentation used as a mean of contract. Yang mana kita akan verify this specification dengan user. Betul tak this workflow, this activity, this procedure adalah yang diinginkan oleh customer. So kita kena verify balik dengan customer. So dia akan verify dan dia akan check, okay, ni semua ada, okay, proses betul, proses tata cara kerja dia betul, so kita terima this part of our specification untuk develop. Then it's a mean of contract as well. So specification, another name is documentation lah. So once you dah ada workflow, that's why penting untuk kamu buat report, reporting dan describe all of the notation yang ada. So that is the 5 step untuk buat basic workflow. Okay, saya rasa lepas ni boleh work on with the project lah. Yeah. So next part of this session, saya nak tunjuk contoh. Saya nak tunjuk contoh from simple to complicated lah. Yeah. Simple and complicated. So order to cash is a very familiar process yang kamu dah dengar sebelum ni kan. So order to cash is a simple process. So order to cash is a typical process that triggered by the receipt of a purchase order from a customer. The purchase order has been checked against the stock regarding the availability of the items requested. Depending on stock availability, the purchase order may be confirmed or rejected. If the purchase order is confirmed, an invoice is emitted and the goods requested are shipped. The process completes by archiving the order or if the order is rejected. So this is the scenario untuk order to cash. So dalam this scenario dia bagi tahu some sort of task. Kita dah boleh identify lah. So bila baca scenario like this, you should highlight lah mana task. Tapi cuma dekat kat sini dia tak sebut who's participate. Kan? Cuma dia ada sebut customer. So we have one participant. Yeah. Kita ada customer here, highlight lah juga. So saya kalau boleh, kalau highlight customer, one color. Kalau like macam purchase order kan, dia bukan customer kan. Dia probably task, contohnya generate purchase order ataupun check purchase order or check availability. So this is task. Task, you highlight kan guna different color pula. And then finally, you ada constraint. Contohnya constraint ni depending on stock or because it could be confirmed or rejected. So this is what we call constraint or rules or decision making. Kita dah identify there's condition there. Conditions of constraint there. So you highlight it in a different color. So you boleh, then you list it lah. Yeah. Kalau since you dah highlight it, you boleh ada choice untuk tidak list lah. Sebab different color tu dah sortkan you punya mind lah. Salah satu caranya macam tu. Ataupun salah satu caranya daripada senario ni, you listkan lah dekat another different paper. You list participant dia siapa, task dia apa, ada constraint ke tidak. So these 3 criteria ni bila baca senario helps you to start designing the workflow. Fast and easy and accurate. So accuracy tu bergantung pada pemahaman kamu jugalah. Yeah? So faham ya? Ada soalan tak until now?
Faham.
Faham ya? Allahu Akbar. Terima kasih.
Sama.
Alright. So kalau contoh macam ni, okay, kalau kat sini you tengok tak ada pool kan? Dia tak ada pool lah. So organisation tu tak ada. So this is basic. It's still a workflow juga. So dia tak ada organisation tu, mungkin dia tak menggunakan tool lah. Ya. Dia guna toolless. Kalau toolless tak payahlah buat organisation tu ya dan lane dia. Tapi susah sikit nak nampak sebab tak nampak participant. Bagusnya guna pool dengan lane tu sebab kita nampak participants. Alright. So cuma this is a simple example. Order to cash. So kita dah ada lah ni start event. Purchase order received. So kalau macam tadi tu purchase order received, you boleh anggap dekat mana dia trigger. Cuma tadi dalam senario ni dia tak mention sales officer ke sales clerk ke, at least kan dia cuma ada customer saja. Cuma kita boleh assume in a daily ataupun assume most logical, most sensible example yang going to receive this purchase order is probably sales clerk, for example. Sales clerk. So but even though it's not mentioning here. Okay. Alright. Cuma tengok pada requirement lah. Kalau test, scenario test, kalau dia tak minta buat pool, you boleh buat dalam bentuk macam ni. Yeah. So purchase order receive, the first task is the check stock availability. Yeah. So bila dia check stock availability, you have a split getaway, where you have item not in stock, items in stock. For example, the branching out ni lah. Dia ada 2 path, kita panggil ni path. So untuk path items in stock, kita ada another list of activities ataupun task. Contohnya kat sini confirm order, the first one, emit invoice, ship goods and archive order. Then you go to the end event. If not in stock, if item not in stock, you just the task is reject order and then order rejected and event. Tapi even though it's simple, I think you boleh improvise this solution into more detail sikit lah. Tapi tak apa, this is example of order to cash. So naming convention is important for you to put event for event, noun and past participle verbs. For example, this is event, the start event and the end event. Insurance claim lodge. For activity, it's an imperative verb and noun. Yeah. For example, access, credit, risk. That is naming convention. One more example here, handle down payments. For the process name, handle down payments. So this process starts when a request for down payment has been approved. Okay, it involves the entry. So you start highlighting lah mana-mana yang you dah start identify that three structure tu kan. The activity, the role and the constraint. So this process starts when a request for down payment has been approved. It involves the entry and posting of a down payment in the form of down payment request being entered into the system. The automatic subsequent payment, acquittal of the down payment through the processing of the direct invoice, and the clearance of the vendor line items. The clearance of the vendor line items can result in a debit or credit balance. In a case of debit balance, the arrears are processed. Otherwise, the remaining balance is paid. So here is example, handle down payment is a, okay, kita ada activity, kita ada event start, down payment request approved, and then we have enter down payment, process direct invoice, clear vendor line, and then they has condition here whether it could pay by credit balance, and or debit balance, and then a pay reminiscence balance and an event by looking at the balance paid and process arrears and event here arrears processed. Okay, so naming convention, nouns, event, noun, past participle, verb. Okay, sama macam tadi. So that is example of a more simple toolless workflow. Okay, sebab apa? Dia missing participant, dia tak mention participant in that scenario. So it can happen, yeah. Especially kalau dalam test lah, ataupun case study ataupun activity. So on more complicated solution, you can use this following. For example, getaway. You can add getaway, you can add decomposition, and you can add more event. Okay. So here is example of a shipment process of a hardware retailer. Okay, so here is dia dah start guna pool, organization pool structure where the internal process name has hardware retailer, yang mana kita ada 3 user, 3 participants, logistic manager, we have clerk here, and we have warehouse worker here. Okay, so the start trigger, start event ialah di clerk. Yeah. So di clerk, dia terus ada goods to ship, item to ships lah. So dia ada getaway here and getaway. Okay, so path dia kat sini satu di clerk dan juga satu lagi path dia di warehouse worker. Okay, this is a matter of relationship types, additional feature. So dia ada structure of a mode delivery. And then dia ada getaway. Getaway ni apa dia? Types dia? Can anybody?
Or gateway.
Gateway. Alright. So here example lah. So saya by this time. Okay, and then yang ni ada pula branching, ada constraint lagi. Yeah. Look at the condition. Extra insurance required. For example here. And then start branching in. And then finally and. So this is somewhat complicated lah. Dia tak adalah complicated mana, but then dia lepas simple tu, this could be a good example of a workflow, which you apply the getaway, the composition and more event. Yang ni more complicated scenario. So kita tengok panjang lah. So here example, dia ada timer lagi. For example here, more event tu, more features, we can use timer where we have restricted time, especially kalau fast food. Kat sini dia bagi contoh pizza customer. Yang ini saya rasa saya ambil dekat dalam buku Dumas. Yang ini buku Dumas ada, tak silap saya. Buku Dumas kan, contoh ni ada dalam buku Dumas. Pizza collaboration. So you can have message, message types of communication, and then in fact you have a customer engagement here in one pool, and then pizza vendor is in another pool. Dalam pizza vendor kita ada 3 pula lagi participants. Alright, here's another example of nanti saya bagilah slide ni nanti kau baca. Yang ini dia lagi order fulfillment ni adalah lagi features ni. Yang ni pun saya tak ingat apa dia ni. Nanti dia akan ada decomposition, tak silap saya. Dalam ni dia ada decomposition untuk undeliverable. Decomposition dia. Okay. So saya assume kamu tak adalah sampai this complicated, especially kita ada constraint time. For example, if you use constraint time ataupun inner from loop. Maksud saya loop tu is banyak sangat constraint di dalam tu Ni pun another one. Okay, the final part, ada soalan tak sampai sekarang ni? Sebab saya nak tunjuk sikit on tools. Ini pun dah dekat lebih setengah jam dah ni tools for you can use freeware. Maksudnya saya kat sini you can download and use free punya features lah. Kalau nak download and guna full feature, you have to somehow pay lah Okay. So for tool, you can use star UML. Star UML ni kalau kelas contohnya next semester kamu akan belajar ISP550. ISP550 pun information system engineering pun akan pakai tools yang sama, star UML. So you can use star UML, also acceptable sebab saya akan tengok hasil dia. Ataupun kamu boleh menggunakan Bizagi Modeler. So untuk kelas ni saya guna Bizagi Modeler. Tapi kalau kamu nak guna star UML, saya tak ada halangan lah sebab saya tahu mungkin next semester you boleh use the same tools So you can get familiarized with the tools. But if you want to know more tools, you can use Bizagi. So dia ada pro and cons lah. Saya rasa tak ada issue lah kat situ. For 1 and 2. Saya guna Bizagi Modeler. Okay. Ataupun kamu boleh pakai click charts daripada NCH software. So cuma dalam NCH software ni dia falls under feature flowchart yang ada swim lane. Ataupun you can use toolless with Microsoft Word ataupun Visio. Ataupun you just use hand and ruler. So you have to write it clearly lah. Cuma knowledge lah, dari segi knowledge lah. Kalau kamu tahu guna more tools, it's advantage for you lah. So basically that's it. Untuk the session. So saya akan pergi sekejap on how to use Bizagi. Sekejap saya akan saya nak share. Stop presenting your entire screen. Sekejap. Okay. Nampak ke? Saya lama tak buka Bizagi ni. So dari tadi dia keep initializing. Saya dah buka lama dah tadi ni. Tapi rugilah sebab dia keep updating bila lama tak buka. Ni lah jadi dia. Saya pun tak check sebelum ni. Sebab last time dah check, saya ingat tak perlu nak check lagi. So lambat sikit lah ya. So ada soalan tak sambil-sambil tu? Itulah. Saya pergi balik sini. Data. Hopefully dia masih free untuk basic features. Okay, nampak ya?
Nampak.
Alright, alamak
Nampak.
sign in. Sekejap ya. Saya sign in pula. Tak nampak apa ni. No thanks dulu ya. Okay, so dia bagi basic lah. Okay, dia bagi basic and this is the working area. And you can add diagram tak silap saya. You can add more diagram here. Yeah. So we go to diagram 1. So dekat sini kita ada area untuk kita pilih dia punya notation. Okay. And then this is the menu. Menu. So we can have diagram types. Boleh add diagram. Oh ni untuk create folder if you want to create folder. Tapi yang ni limited edition lah, limited features. So for example here, so we have the process 1 here. This is the naming for the internal process. Contohnya kita ada shipping tadi kan. Shipping, so you give a name of internal process shipping. Atau shipping build process for example. Okay, so we have one pool, at least one pool. Okay. Next. Okay, kita tengok satu-satu ni ya. Yang ini adalah start event. Yang ini adalah task. Yang ini adalah sub process kalau kena buat decomposition. Yeah. And then this is getaway. Getaway, if you pull down, dia adalah exclusive getaway, parallel getaway. Parallel ni N lah. Inclusive, event based, exclusive, event based, parallel event based. Nanti dia ada dah penerangan dia dekat sini. Then sub-process ni pun sub-process, reusable sub-process. Tapi mungkin ada features-features yang dia tak bagilah. So basic dia bagilah ya. Okay. And this is association, flow. Kita panggil flow ataupun association. So flow, sequence flow ni you can use the solid one. Ataupun you have association. This is association. And this is message flow. Okay. This is a pool. This is a lane. Yang ini untuk milestone. Yeah. Yang ini untuk data store. Okay. Ini untuk annotation. Oh, this is to insert picture. Yeah. And then to add notes, text lah, and so on and so forth. So kalau nak add lane, yeah, you can put lane here, lane 1, and another one is lane 2. Just click drag and drop. Okay. So saya ni pun kita ambil contoh tadi itulah ya. Contohnya Clark, jangan fikir ni ya, saya assume saja ni clerk dengan officer. Oh, officer. So officer usually higher rank than clerk Okay. And then you start lah the start event dekat mana the position is triggered. For example here clerk. For example here. And then you give it a name lah. Contohnya tadi. Panggil. Mana tadi? Sorry. This one. Rasa senang je ni. You can start drag and drop Start event. Start. Seperti je lah ni start And then you can put task. Task. Apa lagi? Contoh dia apa? Okay lah. Design ship. Tadi apa ya? Ship sales contohnya. So you can add the nice dia punya ni. Okay, kejap ya. Sini you can adjust lah. You can adjust the so dia follow. So saya rasa boleh kot. So you add another task here. Click and drop. And you put it here. Received. Contohlah. Sales design. Contoh. Probably not accurate as much. Here. Probably have better. You can drag here like this. For example, make it nicer. Like. Make it straight. Make it nicer lah. Okay, straight. Like that. You can adjust lah. Okay. And then you can insert getaway. For example, parallel. Okay. And then another task. Another task. Add relationship. And note. For example, you can adjust. Okay Boleh tak? Boleh lah. Kan you all lagi.
Boleh.
You all lagi cepat. So dah ada contoh. So you sambung, klik save. Okay. So basically tu je lah tutorial. Next activity is actually for you to start sebab kamu semua dah hantar proposal kan? Kamu dah hantar proposal, so you can start designing you punya designing you punya workflow lah for the project. Itu satu activity you can start off. Nanti saya bagi exercise lah. Cuma exercise tu saya kena tengok apa model yang sesuai lah, senario yang sesuai. So saya akan bagi senario dan kamu boleh bagi, kamu boleh buat lah. Nanti saya bagi saya post dekat group untuk sesi asynchronous. So basically untuk sesi synchronous, sebelum saya end the session, ada soalan tak? Senang kan?
Senang.
Alhamdulillah. Alright, kalau tak ada soalan, kita boleh end the asynchronous session. Dan saya akan bagi sikit latihan lah. Tapi bukanlah hantar immediately. So you can take your time to actually play around with that. Okay. Then of course saya kena submit, nanti saya bagi instruction. Alright, so basically that's our tutorial for today. Thank you very much. Kita boleh ada siapa nak tanya? Okay, kalau tak ada, thank you very much. Kita boleh stop the session ya. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.